Welcome, Megan. So great to have you here.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm really, really excited about this trip. It's been a while in the planning, thanks to
Yeah,
Katie and Will and the team. So
yeah,
yeah, super excited about this one. There's a lot of thought gone into it. So yeah, very, very excited to chat about it.
absolutely. So today we're going up to Svalbard. It's an archipelago between the North Pole and northern Norway. It's a place where polar bears outnumber people. The sun doesn't set in the summertime. And for the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to step into that world with Megan Hine. So let's see. Megan, you can correct me. I don't know how you describe your job, but you're a survivalist, an expedition leader, a resilience coach. And for the last 20 years or so, you're taking people into places that most people don't go or don't choose to go, in some of the harshest environments on Earth. And, you are leading one of our trips this June up to Svalbard. It's an all women's trip, and we'd love to kind of hear from you. Like, I mean, let's begin. What makes this so remarkable?
But yeah, so this for me, this is really exciting. This trip, really, really looking forward to it. So it came about around looking at the evolution of psychology and the evolution of the stress response, which is something that Katie and I have been talking about for quite a while. And I guess my career started when I was 17. Started as an outdoor instructor, started taking people out, working on expeditions to these far-flung places, and a very sort of anthropological based, spending time with indigenous cultures around the world, learning their skills and then putting their skills into practice in jungles and deserts around the world. And then I fell into the TV world, initially so I stunt rig for a little known presenter at the time that then went and became very big. And then I spent sort of 13 years attached to him, traveling all over the world, working with all these amazing communities. And it was kind of, I suppose, at the start of the survival adventure genre. And I suppose with health and safety and things, we weren't quite as on top of it as maybe we are now, in terms of the sort of it being very clinical now. And we were dropping people off into survival situations. And I was seeing this really amazing response of these people in the environment, of how some people would thrive and they'd come to life in these environments and do what it took to survive, and others would just kind of sit down and conserve energy. And I got really, really interested in what it is about those people that thrive in these environments. And I suppose over the years, kind of really got fascinated with that, and sort of went down, did a degree in psychology to kind of explore it a bit more, to combine it with all the adventurous expeditions and trips and things that I was doing. Um, and then, so I suppose at the end of COVID, started experimenting with these adventurous, like retreat is the wrong word, but these adventurous experiences, which was very much sort of psychoeducation. So taking a deep dive into the evolutionary psychological side of things, and looking at how the stress response affects everything that we do, from day to day. And then we started talking about Svalbard, and Svalbard being the most amazing arena to be able to take this idea and this course that we've developed, to and do a real immersion into the environment, looking at the animal behaviour, looking at our behaviour, and that sort of break from everyday life, if you like.
Yeah. And so it's an 11-day expedition, only 12 women, one departure only, June 18th to the 28th. And before you get any further, I mean, we know that you're hardcore and you've got all the skills, but for somebody like I'm sitting here in New York City, for somebody that's just curious but isn't, up for an endurance challenge, what is this trip all about? Is this trip for me? Is it like, help me understand
Yeah,
who
so
it's
this
for?
this
Yeah.
trip, yeah, so this trip is for anybody. We've designed it so that a lot of thought and process has gone into this over several years to kind of develop a program that is immersive into the world around us. We're not going to be rappelling off like
No.
icebergs. So
Not many people want to do that, right? Yeah.
On this one. So it's more of an exploration into the environment, into our own psyche, and using Svalbard and the amazing ship that will be on board as a platform and medium for explaining stress and anxiety, and particularly around burnout, and how and where those come from, and our responses to the world around us and stresses
Yeah.
in the world around us by using the environment around us to kind of help understand that and help understand where stress and anxiety might be coming from, and why we might be, particularly as women with lots of different responsibilities and things, why we as women might be more prone to burnout under certain scenarios.
Okay, great. So I know what kind of things will people be doing? I know that obviously you have it, and the polar plunge is all around us. There's heat and cold immersion. We'll be walking out on sea ice. Of course, we'll be having some type of exchange and encounters with polar bears and the other Arctic wildlife that are there. I mean, it's like a it's the home of the king of the Arctic. So can you tell us like a little bit about what people can expect? I know there'll be some surprises, but
Yes, yeah. So there is an element of the unknown. We're not going to put anybody in any danger or risk, but a huge part of why this program works so well is that as humans, as a species, we don't like the unknown, and we don't like going into things that we don't know about. So there will be an element of that as part of it, to simulate like the stress that we might be feeling in the everyday world, to be able to explain it through sort of the medium of adventure. We have an amazing boat that we're going to be on, and we're going to be using that as a platform to be able to view the environment around us.
yeah.
And it's just the most beautiful environment. And yeah, hopefully we should see polar bear and walruses and seals and like all these incredible animals that are up in that region. It's very, very special. It's very magic. And we'll be looking at the animal behavior, and then sort of drawing the parallels with ourselves as well.
And I remember we were talking about this, and you were talking about how so often, when you're a group of 12 women, what can happen in that type of setting when you're in the high Arctic, and what kind of connection? It's not all about the external, it's so much about the internal, right? So like what kind of connections happen when you're having these kind of fireside chats and these kind of transformational moments that are possible when you're in such an intimate group? I mean, typically a small boat in the high Arctic is 100 people, 200 people. This is 12 people. You're having access to these extraordinary encounters, and you have this added layer of your expertise. And just, if I think a lot of us have this like inner tug about wanting something more in our lives. So I feel like there's something so beautiful here. If anybody on the call has that, like, I have a curiosity about doing something more, this could be such an amazing opportunity to not challenge themselves in a intense way, but in a really supportive way, and with other women that are in that same boat, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think this also goes to answer Will's question about what's the highlight of the high Arctic travel on a trip like this. And I really believe that a huge part of this is connection. I think we see, and I've been working in the media for the past 20 years, kind of helping create and these reality TV shows, adventure reality TV shows, and very easy narrative is to pitch women against each other. Whereas actually, if you look at indigenous cultures, if you look at our ancestors, women typically tended to do a lot of activities together, and a part of that was protection and the passing on of information and knowledge of potential threats and things, which is where this sort of information about gossip and things comes from. It was a survival mechanism. So it's very rare in our everyday lives to be able to come together as groups of women and be supportive of each other, and actually have that space to be together. And we've been trialing these sort of immersive events, if you like, for the past few years. And it's just incredible, like the connections that are built that last a lifetime. And now see, these groups of women now going off on other adventures together, and it's just amazing. And being able to share experiences in ways that, we don't necessarily feel comfortable sharing with our colleagues or, sometimes even our families as well.
Yeah, I heard your pup chime in there too.
Yes.
She's like, yeah. Uh, but it's and so you're on this 12-person ship that I've been on that's incredible. And then you're eating, and you're not, let me just be honest, everybody, you're not lacking anything on on this boat. It's absolute, the food is delicious. Every view is like just incredible. Your system will reset. You talk about wellness, like this is a system reset, even just being out there. But you'll have the chance to journey into like fjords, remote islands, like completely untouched wilderness, right? And so you have the boat, and then there's two zodiacs on the boat during the day that you typically get on for a couple hours or so. Um, and you'll be doing potentially walks. It's not a sedentary trip. But it's a gentle adventure, if you will. So like you may be seeing, I'm trying to think of um something that I was reminded, we were talking, we're animals too, right? And you're having this exchange with this extraordinary wildlife, Arctic foxes, reindeer, Svalbard reindeer, and just these untamed creatures that are, and of course the polar bear, which literally takes your breath away. But are there this trip, in addition to those wildlife encounters, you have the midnight sun. So you could be doing some of this stuff like at 2 a.m, right? It's
Yes.
like,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so I think somebody was asking if the meals will be communal. I'm a solo female traveller. Well, that's yes. So the kinfish, which is the boat that we're going to be on, it's incredible. As Katie said, it's like the food is just incredible. It's like
mhm.
the chef on there is absolutely amazing. So we're all going to be very spoilt with it. But yes, it's communal eating. So we all come together for all the meals. We get to sit down. We'll be doing evening talks and explorations. Obviously, if there's really exciting wildlife around, that takes priority. We'll go and make sure that we look at that. But we will be there will be downtime. There will be time that for self-reflection or for escaping everybody. It's a small boat. There's plenty of deck space to go and hang out in, and the crew that are on board are absolutely incredible. Very, very welcoming, and we can go and sit in and explore like the navigation systems and work with the captain and understand the weather systems a bit as well, because it's really important for me that we like explore autonomy within it. So we have an idea. So if anybody wants to go and do their own adventures in the future, they have a bit of an understanding about how we set these things up, what we're looking for within the environment around sort of safety and sort of resilience on these trips.
Yeah. And just also on the meals, it's typically you think of a cruise boat and everybody's inside at some buffet. This is like, picture the best outdoor meal of your life, just like absolutely gorgeous. You can have, a drink with some Arctic ice in it. It's like, you're so connected to where you are at every stage of the trip, which is really, really unique and special. And then so this is really for people like curious women who want real, like they want the real deal. They want community. May want to challenge themselves in ways that they haven't before. Who is it really not for? Like, who is this trip? It's not an ultra luxury spa pampering yoga retreat. That's not it. That's not the point, right?
No, but we'll all be really looked after, and I think anybody is going to get something out of this. If you're looking for high adrenaline, that's not the intention of this. This is an immersive experience. We're really deep diving into the environment from the platform of the boat, and then we'll get off where it's safe to do so. As we're journeying through, because it's a very dynamic environment, and as we're traveling up around Svalbard, we might be affected by weather as we're traveling up. So the plans are very dynamic with that as to where we end up passing through and where we can get off the boat. But as much as possible, we'll get off and we'll explore and go and see what we can see. As you said, there's a lot of reindeer and other wildlife that we can go onto the land to look at as we're passing through.
And just, we're limiting this trip to just 12 people. So why does that intimacy matter for a trip like this, especially in the Arctic and the kind of stuff that you'll be doing together?
Uh, for
And
I
I
guess
also see it. I have a question from some Will. Is there yoga or meditation during the trip?
we're not going to be doing yoga, but in terms of meditation, I guess that depends on how you see what meditation is to you. For me, meditation is it's going for a run or going mountain biking, whereas I know for some people it's sitting in peace and quiet. So there's plenty of opportunity for that as we travel through. There is something about that environment. It's just so magic, and yeah, there's so much going on around you that there's plenty of time to sort of sit and enjoy the view.
Get
And
quiet. Yeah. Get
yeah,
quiet. Like I was just saying, like it's like you think you're remote in this place, this experience recalibrates like what even remote can be. And there's something about, our senses, we have like this onslaught of stuff just bombarding us day to day, wherever you are, whether you're in the UK, New York, or California, wherever. And this just like really gives you a chance to be still. And that is such a privilege. And it's a meditation in its own way. But yeah.
well, yeah, it's very exciting. Was there's a question on there? What biggest challenge have you faced in these environments? Well, I mean, it's a really good question. It's often you've got from the physical aspects as the exposure of being in those environments. So if we were off the boat on shore, you've got the exposure of the cold, wind, wet. Those are always really tricky to juggle. But oftentimes it's people that are the biggest challenge. At least if you're going into an environment and it's like we understand how a polar bear reacts and interacts with its environment around it. So as long as we've got that local knowledge with us, which is always really key, then we can understand its behavior and how it might react to us. Whereas I always find people are far more unpredictable in how we react and interact with the world around us, which is why this is so exciting to be able to kind of deep dive it for ourselves.
Yeah. And if someone is feeling the pull to this trip, but they're nervous, they're a little anxious, like what would you say to her?
Well, you've got this. It's we're not going to be pushing you so far out of your comfort zone that you are terrified. We'll be with you. Myself and there's a couple of local guides that will be with us as well. So we will be with you every step of the way. You'll be really supported. Like the idea is that this is like an immersive experience to help foster understanding of how our psyche works. So we're not trying to terrify anybody or traumatize anybody for the long term, but we will push you out of your comfort zone occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah. And for anybody that missed it at the beginning, this trip is June 18th to the 28th, 2026, 11 days up in Svalbard. It's about 3 hours from Oslo in Norway. 12 women only. It's one departure led by Megan and two expedition leaders. All aboard the RV Kinfish, which is a phenomenal boat. I can speak firsthand about it. Just a phenomenal experience. And yeah, I mean, I guess if there's anything else that you're like, if there's one moment that sticks out to you, or if there's one thing that you're like, this trip, you're going to have this kind of transformation through adventure up in Svalbard, but what can they bring back to their everyday lives after being up there with you? I mean, it's such incredible access to you too, right? Like how special.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Svalbard itself is incredible. It's the quiet. I don't think that you can like fully understand that until you've been in an environment like that. Away from civilization, away from like all the stresses of the modern world. And for that's why it gives me such an amazing arena to be able to play with in regards to that exploration of how we behave and how we interact with the world around us, and hopefully kind of give that understanding and tools, etc., of how to manage stress and anxiety back in the everyday world.
Yeah. Okay, great. I don't know if there are any other questions. Please send them through. Um, I I'm just watching it, but I feel like that's really, I mean, it's such a special trip. high up in the Arctic, literally the top of the world, with you, Megan. For others that are unable to join at that time, we have other women-led departures. This is the only all-female one, though. I think we have another one in May with Lizzie Daly. So just there are other options, but this is the only women's only trip, and it's just going to be phenomenal. There's a few spaces left, and we'd love to hear from you. Our website is www.naturalworldsafaris.com. That's an S at the end. And or you can DM us, whatever. We're here. We're here to answer any other questions that we didn't cover right now. And it's a phenomenal trip. I think any woman would be just so lucky to step into the wild with you, Megan. And that's the biggest luxury. Forget all the other stuff like that. It's a huge just honor and privilege. So anyway, I'm really excited, and if there's anything else you want to mention, please do. Otherwise,
no, I'm super excited about this. It's a real privilege to be able to go to these environments, and they're changing very fast. What we're seeing now in sort of 10 years time, will look very, very different. So I think, we're very privileged to be able to have the opportunity to see it as it is at the moment. It's going to be an amazing trip. Natural World Safaris is such an incredible company and do some amazing expeditions and trips around the world with some incredible people as well. So there's lots of different options as well to get on board with.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, of course, I'm biased, but we've been operating up there for over 10 years. We are true experts in the area. Our polar expertise is unmatched. And and then we've got you. So get in touch anyway. Anybody that has questions, we're here, and we're excited about it. So thank you, Megan. Give your dogs a squeeze from us, and good luck on your trip tomorrow.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. Alrighty. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.